What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing. I just finished up watching David Morrell versus Radivoje Kalajdzic, and this was a 12-rounder for the vacant WBA light heavyweight world title. And this fight was Saturday, August 3rd, from the BMO Stadium in Los Angeles, California. And this fight was broadcasted on the DAZN pay-per-view. And in this fight, David Morrell was able to get the unanimous decision victory here. Personally, I had this fight pretty close. I'm going to be honest. I scored it 115-113 in his favor. But I did think this was a pretty competitive and pretty tough fight to score. I mean, there was a lot of pretty competitive rounds in there. And the three judges, they had it extremely wide. They had it 117, 111 twice, 118, 110 once. But I feel like you got to give some love to Kalajdzic. I think he definitely won a ton more rounds than that. But just to break down my scorecard, the first three rounds easily went to David Morrell. I had him up 30-27 after three. Just Kalajdzic wasn't really doing much. Morrell was kind of just backing him up, landing huge combinations. He actually rocked him a bit in the third as well. However, after that kind of first three rounds where Morrell was really pressing, really throwing a ton of punches on Kalajdzic, and Kalajdzic was kind of just surviving, I thought Kalajdzic sweeped 4 straight rounds from rounds 4 through 7. I thought he took all those rounds just by kind of keeping Morrell at bay and then kind of catching on late and then throwing some combinations, just fighting smart. I mean, that's just what he was doing in those rounds, and I thought that he kind of just edged them slightly, so I gave him all 4 of those rounds there. But they were all very, very competitive rounds, in my opinion. It's not like Kalajdzic was dominating in those rounds or anything, but they were very competitive, but I thought that Kalajdzic had a slight edge. But then moving on, Kalajdzic, it looked like he started to lose, or Morrell started to gain some momentum, actually, as I gave him rounds 8 through 10. I thought Morrell was starting to come back a bit. I thought he was a little bit more effective in those rounds compared to earlier. Looked like Kalajdzic was slightly buzzed as well in the 8th, which kind of gave him more momentum going into the 9th and 10th. But then in the 11th, I did give that one to Kalajdzic. He actually was able to land a very clean straight right on Morrell that knocked his head back really nicely, and that definitely caught the judge's eye and my eyes as well, and I gave him that round. However, in the 12th, Morrell really needed a big round to kind of close it out and just cap off his performance, and he did. He actually was much more aggressive, had a higher output than Kalajdzic, and definitely took that 12th round. So this goes into question, what is next for David Morrell? He's now moved up at 175. The two-way WBA regular champion he's currently ranked 4th on BoxRec. 3rd is David Benavidez, and what could be next, obviously, for Morrell? It could be Benavidez, which would obviously be the fight that we want to see. But if not, I mean, we could possibly see him face someone who's ranked by the WBA. Even though Dimitri Bivol is the real full WBA champion, obviously Morrell has the regular title. So we could possibly see him fight someone like Albert Ramirez, maybe Anthony Yard, someone else who's ranked in the WBA rankings. Those are really just the top 3 guys, aside from Kalajdzic, who Kalajdzic was also ranked previously at 4th going into this fight, but I'm not sure where he's going to reside after. But yeah, Morrell getting this victory here. Obviously, David Benavidez could be on the table, possibly someone else who's ranked by the WBA. At light heavyweight could be next. But yeah, that could be next for Morrell. But as for Kalajdzic, losing here for the 3rd time in his career, I mean, not a bad loss necessarily. Fighting an undefeated, highly touted guy, took him to a decision in a competitive fight that some people did have a draw, actually. But, I mean, for him, I think he's just going to kind of bounce back at a few lower-level wins before maybe getting thrown in there again against another top guy who he could possibly maybe even beat or just have another decent performance and a loss like this one. So overall, David Benavidez defeats Radivoje Kalajdzic via unanimous decision to pick up his 2nd WBA regular title in 2 weight classes. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.